Dan, my girlfriend really wants you to see Pesto the Penguin.
Who the fuck is Pesto the Penguin?
Didn't I send you a text about Pesto the Penguin?
No, you did, but the viewers don't know that, so I'm pretending that you didn't, so we can get an
Oh,
explanation.
okay, I never told you this. Pesto the Penguin is a child penguin in the zoo that is located in Melbourne, probably called the Melbourne Zoo. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's not the zoo, it's the Sea Life Experience, but
Same thing.
No, it's not. There's an actual zoo.
Whatever.
This is like a Sea Life Experience.
That makes a lot of sense. Anyways, there's a penguin, and he's real fucking chunky, and he's making his rounds around the internet. And Instagram has found out that my girlfriend likes these videos and just sends videos of Pesto the Penguin, which means I get videos of Pesto the Penguin.
Is he getting famous just because he's a fat penguin and no other reason?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's cute. Well,
Cool.
so here's the deal. He's really big. A lot of it is his like down.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's puffier than he actually is, but he's already bigger than I think his mother.
Oh,
Yeah, like he's gonna be a big guy,
a big boy.
and he's a child. So you should go see him and tell me what you think.
I could. Do I
think
just
it could
go?
be
Do I
fun.
just go alone to the aquarium and
Sure.
be real sad?
That's not sad. There's nothing wrong with going places alone.
Nah, it's sad.
Okay. You have friends, right?
Moving on. So. No, I do,
Yeah.
but I see them
Yeah.
in a very infrequent basis because they're terrible
And-
at making plans.
And then text them and go, Pesto the Penguin, and nothing else. Don't say anything else.
I
And
could.
then they go, what? And you say, now. And then you knock on their door as you text now. And you say, let's go. And you have like a limo or something.
I could.
That could be fun.
There was actually I've seen probably close to 5 times now around my area. There's like a pink stretched Hummer that I always see,
Oh,
like
that's fun.
driving around like where I live. So maybe I could hire that. Who knows?
Yeah,
That could be fun.
maybe. Yeah, that could be fun. I think that'd be a good time.
And I
go see
run
this
over
fluffy
Pesto the Penguin with it.
No, not Pesto.
See, the
See
name
your penguin.
triggers me because I'm allergic to pesto. So
Oh, you are allergic to pesto, aren't you?
yeah, it's unfortunate.
Maybe this could get you past your fear and you could finally just start eating nuts and it wouldn't affect you whatsoever. That's how allergies work, right? It's like a fear.
I mean, it's not a fear. I think you can technically overcome them.
I've heard of like some kids that are allergic to like eggs when they're like really young. And it's like, how do you deal with it? They're like, they eventually grow out of it.
Well, it's the same way lactose intolerance works. Is that when you're a baby, if a kid is lactose intolerant, you're supposed to slowly like give them milk over time, and
Yeah.
they'll grow out of lactose intolerance.
Yeah. And then they'll
My
grow back
parents
into it.
clearly never did that because I still got it.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's got it a little bit at the least.
I think the whites have it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's great.
It definitely makes my tummy uncomfy.
Yeah. It's the same with like cats. So like I'm allergic to cats, but I've had cats my whole life. After like a
So
week or 2 of being around them, you get used to it.
Yeah. So I think my sister had the same, or I can't remember because I think it was that she had the same, or it was that for whatever reason, the one time she visited my parents with their cats, she was like sick or something. But it was like, we've lived with cats pretty much my whole like childhood. And then my sister came to visit like years after not living with her and had like kind of a reaction.
Mm-hmm. No, it's same when I went back to
yeah.
see my parents for the first time when they moved houses and they had a new cat. I was like sick from allergies for like a
Yeah.
whole week. It was bad.
They'll do it to you, man.
Yeah.
But you gotta love them.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of allergies, I don't know if this is an allergy, but it's a thing that happens to me, and it's honestly debilitating. And I'm only slightly exaggerating when I say that, if I'm being real.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
So, I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I don't know exactly what it's called or what it is, but when I like, not even necessarily when I exercise, but when I'm like walking or running and my body gets like hotter in temperature, faster heart rate, the blood's pumping, I get like a lot of like itchy spots like all over my body. Like it feels like a bunch of like pins pressing into me, like all over my back, my arms, my legs. And it starts off not too bad. Like, it'll just be like a little spot on like my hand or my lower back where I'm like, oh, I can feel the itch coming on. But recently, I went on a walk at 11 p.m. or like 10 p.m. So really late. It was like 13 degrees Celsius. So not warm at all. But after half an hour of walking, I was wearing 13 degrees. I was wearing sweatpants, a tank top, and then a hoodie over it. But after half an hour, this itch broke out to the point where I was like, it was painful. Like, I was actually in pain. So I had to literally stop my walk, had to take off my hoodie, roll up my pants, and sit for like 20 minutes just to cool down. Because it was like so painfully itchy and like awful feeling. It's, I don't know what the fuck it is. I've searched it up. Apparently, it might have something to do with the fact that your blood capillaries like open up when you're getting hotter to like release oxygen, and it's like a histamine reaction, which is why I'm getting itchy. But fuck me, it's bad. Like, whenever I'm in like direct sunlight for too long and I get heated up, I get this itch over me. And like working out is really fucking annoying because of it.
Yeah. I feel like I've had that like maybe every once in a while where I get a point where I'm like, oh, I feel itchy. But I also feel like, I don't know, it hasn't happened enough for me to think about it.
Yeah, it happens to me like...
And it goes away pretty quickly.
It happens to me like, not even like when I'm doing intense working out. When I'm like, I went on a 15-minute walk one day.
I say walk is like, like pretty casual.
Like a casual walk. And after 10 minutes, I had to like turn home because I can't handle this. It's too much. It's why like whenever I go on walks, it's like usually at nighttime. Because if I'm in the direct sun for too long, this happens.
Sure.
It's really fucking annoying. And I've had it for years. Like, back when we were living in Germany, like in 2016, 17, 18, if I had a shower that was too hot, this would happen to me.
Damn.
And it'd be, like, painful. So I don't know what the fuck it is. And I thought back in the day it was hives, like heat hives, which you can get. However, I've noticed there's no, like, visible reaction on my skin when this happens.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm getting red or, like, dots or anything.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the fuck's happening. If there's any doctors watching, please help me.
Yeah. For whatever reason, if you smart people are giving us the watch, we just slowly convince like doctors to watch us because they start going, this guy's like a medical like anomaly.
He's a phenomenon.
Just every week, there's just something new. They're like, guys, we gotta tune in. Why is it interesting? Only for this reason.
Well, if you want another thing to solve,
are they funny? No.
My lower back, like my lower back, nearly my like ass, like near my bone muscle there.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep last night because it was hurting too much. Because it started hurting because I was like shitting too hard. I don't know what it was. It's fine now. I don't know. My time in the toilet yesterday was not a fun one. And it just
I'm not
hurt.
gonna ask about your bowel movements.
No, you don't need to.
Even if I kind of want to.
It wasn't even like I was constipated yesterday. I was going fine, but it was just like it was one of those like never-ending shits. And
sure, yeah.
It felt like I just like pulled a muscle from it, which is kind of hilarious, but really bad at the same time.
You amaze me sometimes, Dan.
Thanks.
Yeah, this isn't a compliment, sadly. I've seen you run 100-meter dash, and I think you were doing quite well.
I was
you're
winning.
Tall and you got some good speed. And then I think you hit like 70, 80 meters, and that hammy was gone.
No, I was winning. And after like 80 meters, I pulled my hamstring.
Yeah, you pulled your hamstring.
And that was the first time I'd ran in an entire year because I pulled my hamstring running. So back where I used to live in Germany, we had this really long driveway, probably about like 70, 80 meters long. So when we took out the trash, I had to walk all the way down and then all the way back up. And for some reason, I was taking the trash out with my mum one day. And this was like the last week of like, I think 10th grade or 11th grade. And my mum, for some reason, just asked me to run back as fast as I can. I don't know why. I don't know why I did it.
I don't know why she asked.
Me neither. But I did, and I pulled my hamstring. So I missed the last week of school with all like the fun assemblies and activities, which is great.
Oh, that's right.
And then for an entire year, I had PTSD worse than the people who went to Vietnam. I was scared to run, Chad, because I didn't want to pull my hamstring again. And then at lunch
and
one
here's
day,
the deal, you did.
Yep, it was like a free period or lunch in 12th grade. I was with you and a couple other guys, and we decided to have a race on the track and field just for funsies. I did a lot of stretching beforehand because I wanted to make sure that I was going to be okay, and I was not okay. So I had to call my mum and be like, "Mum, it happened again." And I limped all the way to the car park. It's like a good 500-meter plus walk. Was limping to the car park, and I was like, "Fuck, man."
I just like the idea that it hits a point where you call her, you're like, "It happened," and she was like, "No, not again."
The thing is, it was the other hamstring as well. It wasn't the same one.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good.
Hasn't happened again, luckily.
But have you sprinted again?
Yeah, I've played football and done some other things.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
I don't think I've sprinted for that distance, maybe. Because I was 100% effort sprinting for that 100-meter. I don't know if I've done that much, but I think I'm fine now. Because I think the reason why my hamstrings were so fragile was because I grew a foot, within a year or two.
Yeah,
so my muscles were still catching up to my skeletal structure, and they were really tight and tense all the time. I think I'm more settled into my size now.
I just see you again. You're just 7'2". You just keep growing.
I hate everything.
You'd have a statistical high likelihood of being in the NBA. Yeah. I think there's at a certain height, it's 7 foot or 7'2" or something like that. It's 18% of people that are at that height play in the NBA.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Or probably that height and that age plus gender range.
Yeah.
What's you're in?
I am in an age and gender range.
7'2". You are in at least one age and gender range. I last Monday, apparently this is just us talking about medical shit.
Great.
I went to get my nose cauterized.
Oh yeah, because you're a nosebleed bitch boy.
As the listeners know, this nose be bleeding.
How'd that go?
And it's been better. I've had a couple bleeds, but also they've been super light.
How often did you get them before? Is it a daily thing?
It would vary. I think right before I was I need to schedule this, it was between Tuesday and Thursday, I had 4.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. The thing is it hasn't really been this bad until January. It's that I live in a dry environment, and then my work also has 500-degree ovens.
Yep.
So my work is a dry environment. I also now I don't have AC, so we're running fans at night. So that dries it out even more. So it's partially I'm in the worst environment to get a nosebleed, but also my girlfriend doesn't have 4 nosebleeds in 3 days.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a you problem.
It is a me problem.
I have the same issue. I do have AC, but I don't usually run it at night. I have a fan as well. Dude, the amount of days I've woken up just a bone dry mouth and nose is crazy. You can see, you can't see on the podcast, but you can see that white thing there is a humidifier.
Yeah.
Ever since I bought that, I have every single day where I'm sitting at my desk working, or when I was streaming recently, I've just had the humidifier going the whole time. It makes such a difference,
dude,
man.
It's wonderful. No, you wake up, you're so dry that you drink an entire bottle of water and you still feel dry. It's horrible.
What I end up doing, I have really dry eyes, and that's my big issue.
Yeah.
So with the humidifier, if I wake up, my eyes still fucked after eye drops and after washing my face, I will turn the humidifier on and I'll open my eye just over it and just just wait. I was yes, my eyes are being moistened right now.
Oh yeah. But so with my nose, what it is essentially is a blood vessel that's exposed, and so it just really easily gets irritated and bleeds. So they just chemically cauterize it. It's bled a couple times in the past 2 weeks. I think it is normal. My doctor didn't tell me shit.
Cool.
Yeah, really love that. The problem is I couldn't ask any questions because he's here's a piece of paper, it'll tell you everything, and then walked away, and I start reading the piece of paper, and it was if you have nosebleeds, plug your nose and tilt your head, and it's well, I fucking knew that. I needed to know about the procedure I just did, which by the way, incredibly easy. It was 3 really long matchsticks, and he just pokes up your nose and it burns ever so slightly. because it's a chemical cauterization. I almost said castration.
So it wasn't too painful or
that.
anything?
Nah, it was nice and easy. It felt a little weird. My nose, like day of, was super leaky.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I also decided that I needed some vaccines to be updated.
I need to do that as well soon.
So I got them. Here's the deal, Dan. I got 5 of them.
Are you going to die of autism now? That's how it works, right?
Too many. Yeah, that's how it works, I think. Fun fact. Look, I was fine in the end. The first day I was stretching my arms a lot. I was moving them. The next day I wake up, I swear to God, it felt like I got hit by a car.
Oh, really? Was it all in one arm or did you have it in both?
No, I split them. I did 2 on the right, 3 on the left.
Yeah.
I split them because, oh God. No, the thing is, it wasn't my arms that hurt. It was my entire body.
Oh.
I was just sore. Like, my body had taken a lot.
They're fighting those fucking bad boys.
Yeah, plus the nose, which I actually don't think the nose was that bad. I did see things that were like,
was that the same day?
Or strain too much. Yeah, I did it all in one.
Oh God, Jesus.
Yeah,
that's a day.
So that was fun.
No, I need to.
I have to go back for 2 of them because they're one of those where they're like you got to take 3 doses.
Multiple, yeah.
But that's fine because then I'll only take 2 the next.
Exactly.
It's like 2 the next time I go in. One of them is a 2 dose. One of them is a 3 dose. So that'll be fine.
Yeah, I haven't had a vaccine since 2018.
Outside of COVID.
Yeah, sorry, had COVID. But
Did you get the flu shot?
No, I haven't had the flu shot since 2018.
Did they do that in Australia?
They do. But
you just don't.
So no, when I moved back to Australia in 2019, we went to the doctor about getting a flu shot because my half brother had a kid, and we were like, we don't want to infect them with shit. And they looked at my like log history of like my vaccines, and they're like, you'll be fine. You don't need to get one. And I just haven't got one since. So I probably should, but I also haven't got sick. So.
Do they advertise the flu a lot in Australia? Like the flu vaccine? No. They do it in the States. I wonder if the flu is just more prevalent here. Because every come September, October, well, it's just every grocery store, because a lot of grocery stores have pharmacies, are just we have free flu shots. Fun fact, they're not technically free.
Sick.
Oftentimes your insurance will pay for it, and I think they will give it to you if you're uninsured, but there are some insurances that want you to do it through them instead of someone else.
Right.
So I went to a Walgreens, which is, you know what a Walgreens is. Yeah. You know, went to a Walgreens, and I just I was like, oh yeah, I'll get a flu and COVID shot. And they were like, well, who do you have? And I told them my insurance company, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't, it's going to be $180. And I was like, why? They're like, just go to their place. It's free. I was like, I went to the Walgreens because I needed to buy something anyways.
Yeah.
I was like, fine, I'll go. And I went to my facility. It was super easy. It was just
Dude, America's so weird with their
it's weird that it's free and then
I know the whole system. I think we've spoken about this before, but America's whole system of a doctor or a vaccine place being in or out of your system is so odd to me because it's just not a thing in other countries. You can just go to places. But okay, back to the flu shot being advertised. It might be, I might just not notice it. One thing that does happen is that if you're working for a company around that time of year, when I worked at my old place, they would have people come in and say hey, we're getting flu shots for the office, and they'll do that in the office for you. So I didn't actually get one. I probably could have. I just couldn't be fucked. I was I'm going into work today. I kind of just want to play games like I usually do throughout most of the work day because I'm a bad employee.
Of course. Yeah.
And not get the flu shot done. That's the thing, I forgot about it, but no.
Sure.
I don't know how
it's also
important
look, if you
it
don't
is.
do it, it's not the end of the world. It just helps you not get the flu that season.
Yeah.
The thing is the flu, and I think COVID's slowly turning into this,
where
it's once you have the initial vaccine, the shot is just a booster. It's just essentially, okay, you have the thing against the main virus, but the virus evolves all the time. The flu evolves every year.
Yep.
So it's look, if you're a healthy person and you don't get the flu shot one year, it's fine. Now you have a higher likelihood of getting the flu. And if you do get the flu, it'll hit you a lot harder. Where like you can still get the flu on a flu shot. It'll just like usually it's a lot calmer.
Yeah, and like I've had a cold. I don't think I've had the flu. Nah, I've maybe had 1 or 2 flus in the past 4 years, but it was like it's manageable. And sometimes this may be a hot take. I don't know. Sometimes I like getting sick.
Okay.
Because it's like it feels like a break. It's like an induced break from life. It's like you have an excuse to be a lazy piece of shit and just do nothing for like a week. It's kind of nice sometimes. It's like the same way I feel about like a thunderstorm. It's like the actual weather's not nice to like go out and live life in.
But it's nice to just sit in your house and be all cozy.
Exactly. It's like there's like obviously there's a level of being sick where it's like this is too much. But like if you have like a bit of a stuffy nose,
a cold is
and
like, oh no, I get
throat,
to sit around and not do anything.
Yeah, it's kind of nice at times. I don't know. I mean,
it helps that you also like it. I'd say the only thing I'd go against that is like, if you had any plans, it kind of sucks. If you're like, I was going to do this thing, like sucks doing things like sick. Like when we went out of vacation a couple of years ago, all 3 of us got sick at 3 different times.
Thing is, well, you and Alan got sick. I got allergies.
Yeah.
I got allergies from going to Amsterdam during spring, and it was the worst allergy experience of my entire fucking life. I couldn't breathe unless I tilted my head back. It was horrendous. And I was taking like a fuck ton of meds for it as well. It just was not happening for me. I don't know, like we had to go to the pharmacy in Amsterdam to ask for like a nose blocking like spray for like snot running out and shit.
Yeah.
And I had to like I was like taking that shit like drugs. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Never again. Never fucking again.
Good times.
But yeah, in terms of more medical things, because we'll continue this topic for now. I think I told you about like a month ago or a few weeks ago that I was meant to get a root canal for one of my teeth. One of my toothies. So I went into the dentist like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or something. To go ahead and get a root canal, which is a pretty invasive like thing. You're basically just like
taking the nerve out of your tooth.
Yeah. And it's very expensive as well. But I went in and there's a nice female dentist. Wanted to test the area again just to make sure that we had to go through this procedure. And after a bit of testing, she was like, "No, I think we're fine for now." She was like, it's definitely like sensitive, and the tooth is because the tooth that I was going to get the root canal in was the one I recently had a cavity filling in. So
that makes
her
sense.
hypothesis was like, it's still sensitive because it's still adjusting to the new cavity filling. And also I tweeted this and you may have seen it. She basically said that my jaw muscles are insanely strong, like way more than they should be. And I think the tweet was like, is she hitting on me? Do I go for it, guys? She's calling my muscles big and strong. But apparently this is a fact that I didn't know that is quite terrifying to me. It's so your like back teeth, your molars are only supposed to touch for around about 17 minutes a day when you're eating for the most part. I think my back teeth, up until I heard about this, were touching for multiple hours a day. Because
you're just constantly mewing.
Yes. Unironically. Because this goes back to another medical issue. Like you can still tell my nose is really bent. Like you can tell on like that camera way better. But I had a deviated septum and still do. I had an operation for it back in 2018, 19. So it's better now. But after I got the operation, I had to teach myself to stop breathing through my mouth, like by default. And the way I did this was by mewing, basically, by like having the tongue on the top of your mouth and like clenching your mouth so you'd stop breathing through your mouth. And before mewing became this big fucking meme, it was like a genuine thing that people like tried to do properly for like actual reasons and not just fucking looks maxing. So, and the issue with mewing is that if you do it too hard, you're kind of clenching your jaw muscles and your teeth are, touching. So that's caused me to have really strong teeth muscles and basically wearing out my teeth. So now I'm having to untrain myself from mewing, which is great.
Damn. Man's about to have a weak jawline.
I am. It's sad.
Uh.
So yeah, I didn't get the root canal. And now instead of that, I'm getting a old cavity refilled that's being taken out and put back in because apparently another filling I had in that teeth, I have 3 on that fucking tooth. It's ridiculous. Is like not good according to my dentist. Like it's not high quality.
Sure.
So he's redoing that.
I've had a dentist do the same thing. So I had a root canal on this tooth right here. I chipped in like middle school. You know those umbrellas that you hit the button, it pops out.
Oh god.
Yeah. I had we were messing around in the car, and one of the kids hit me and it just popped out. And he went, "Oh wow, I knocked the gum out of your mouth." And I went, "I wasn't chewing gum," because half of this tooth just popped off.
Oh god.
And so the thing is, when you're a kid, they don't really want to give you a crown until you're like 18.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a root canal, and then they essentially glued the tooth back on. When I went back to Germany, or I went to Germany, not back to Germany, I guess. I went to the dentist and they looked in and went, "Wow, they did a horrible job." Not like in the sense of like the tooth was fine and everything, but they're like, "This doesn't look great." Like you could see the crack. And then they redid it. So I definitely think they're like, I've definitely think that there's dentists who are like just worse at some of this stuff. I mean, obviously it's the case with everything. And they'll be like I think I was talking to my dentist recently. I got like a really minor filling. And he was like, feasibly, he's like, I have a pretty good success rate, but like if anything was wrong, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I came back after 6 months and they looked at it and they're like, looks great. Where he's like, yeah, there's some dentists where like, just don't go and get a cavity from. They're not as good. And that's wild to me that there's dentists that are bad at it, which is like, it makes sense. Not everyone's going to be good at every aspect, but it's like, you think it's like one of the few things they do. Yeah,
well, that's why I really appreciate this new dentist I went to, because when I moved close to the city where I am now, I needed to find a new dentist. So I literally went on Google Maps and like reviews, and I was like, find me the best dentist you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to fuck around with this shit. Found them. They actually got I think we talked about this in the first episode of the podcast.
Is this the one with the YouTube channel that has more subscribers than you somehow?
I don't know if they had 100K plaque. I don't know if they have more subs than me.
Oh, I guess that's true. That was a while ago.
Let's see if they have more subscribers than me.
The ultimate nemesis, your dentist.
They have more subscribers than me.
How many?
They have 495,000 subs.
Like, I thought they had like at least 300, if not 400.
Yeah, they have nearly 500K. But the thing is, they get like, not to be mean to them or anything, but they get like 300 views a video.
Yeah.
So I think we went through this. Like, I don't know if it was on the podcast or after. I don't know how they have this many subs because they like.
I don't understand where the subs come.
Their most
must
viewed
have
video,
like an old video.
No, their most viewed is 17K. Oh,
we gotta look at their subscribers.
It's the shorts.
Did you find an old video?
It's the shorts.
95
mil, 49 mil, 18 mil, 10 mil.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are their? Can you send me a link?
I can send you a link. There's a good chance people are going to be able to find which dentist I go to now, but oh well. It's basically just like dentist reacts to things, or like how a simple cavity can turn into a worse thing, or like other shit. Yeah. But yeah, I found this dentist.
Shorts.
Yeah, I found this dentist, and I really appreciate the dentist I go to for like my cavities and stuff, because when he told me I needed a root canal, he said, I don't think I'm qualified enough to do a root canal. I'm sending you to another person in the same dentistry that is better at doing it. I'm like, I respect that.
Exactly.
And he like explains things in detail and is really good with it.
I love that.
The one thing about him that, and I'm trying not to be mean here, that's really funny, is that, have you ever seen the news clip? I don't know I think it's a news clip about the kid that goes like, apparently.
It sounds familiar, but...
I can't remember if it's a news clip or something, but there's a very famous like a meme clip of like a kid that it's on news. He keeps saying like apparently, and for some reason, and I think it's because my dentist doesn't have perfect English. Like he's pretty good, but it's not perfect. He uses the word apparently instead of just like, he uses it to like start a lot of sentences, but like a native speaker wouldn't use it.
Yeah,
so like, for example, if he's like, for this operation, you're not going to need anesthetic because it's not too
Uh.
difficult. He'll go like, apparently for this operation, and he does it like a lot. Like it will
It
be
makes
like,
you think like it makes you think when he's like, apparently for this operation and this, it's like, so you're gonna, do you not know?
yeah, that's exactly. It sounds like he doesn't know what he's talking about. I was like, what do you mean apparently?
But
It's
he-
like you
but
should
he-
know what's happening.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
apparently, I'm gonna look at your teeth.
I have to
Are
stop
you?
myself, dude. I have to stop myself from laughing because it's really funny.
You just gotta ask him. He's gonna be like, apparently, I'm gonna floss your teeth now, and like, you just go, are you gonna floss my teeth right now?
Yeah, he's like he literally is like said like apparently for this operation there's like a good chance of a success rate, but if there's any issues, come back to me. It's like, what do you mean apparently? It's like you
do
should
you mean
know.
apparently?
This is your job.
He's like, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
He's
Someone
a nice,
else told me this.
He's a
I
nice
could be
dude
wrong.
though, but that makes me
Yeah.
chuckle in my head
That
a
is
little
funny.
bit every time.
Yeah.
I think is that all for the medical mysteries?
Going down the list of all of Dan's medical
Yeah.
problems.
Well,
and-
speaking about your chipped tooth,
appointments.
I actually had a chipped tooth.
Oh.
This
Uh-huh.
That
yeah,
one?
yeah.
that looks terrible
Yeah,
on
show
camera,
them
I'm
pearly
sure.
whites.
I actually asked him
beautiful.
to shave down the teeth so I don't have the chip anymore.
Oh.
So my teeth are like maybe
I
like
actually have I have a tiny chip in one of my teeth that I got semi recently, like a couple of years ago.
yeah. I don't know when I got
It was
mine.
just
but-
I just like bit a fork on accident.
Nice. So yeah, I had
Like a
them
bit
shaved
through a
down my
pancake.
teeth. So I think they're like an eighth of an inch short
Nice.
or something. But they're more sensitive now for a while.
That's an eighth of an inch. That's actually pretty significant.
Well, like yeah,
I think it's got to be less than that.
no, it was a pretty decent change. Like, I can send
okay.
I can send you images of it. It was like a pretty good because
I'll believe you.
he needed to initially he just shaved down the tooth that had the chip in it, and then the teeth were like
Yeah.
not level at all.
Super unaligned. Okay.
So he had to shave down the other tooth, and it was like quite a significant change. Like, I'll send you photos. I might put them on the podcast
Sure.
if I remember.
Sure.
But yeah, it was like,
See, what you got to
pretty
do is be
decent.
like, give me the vampire teeth. Really sharpen those canines.
mhm.
I saw this like in this like reel of someone who was like, she was responding to comments of like she has all these tattoos. And there's people going, oh, well, yeah, you don't look decent with those, and her going like, oh, what do you care? And I'm sitting here going, she had like vampire teeth, like her teeth. I think a lot of them were
No.
like carved, and I was like, I have the tattoos. Live your best life. The teeth, don't fuck with them. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Strange to me.
definitely some. I'm not the biggest like body modification person in general. Like,
Sure.
I've always had a not a hate of tattoos, but like I'm very indifferent towards them. Like if you
Sure.
if you have a few of them, that's fine. If you have a lot of them,
Mm.
I'm like, it can look cool, but like in terms of like dating someone, if you have
Yeah.
like fucking like full sleeves and shit, I'm like, might be a bit much for me personally.
Sure. I've definitely warmed up to them a lot more. I mean, my girlfriend has tattoos, so
Yeah.
obviously I can't complain, but I've warmed up to them, and honestly, I think I just work around a lot of people that have tattoos,
hmm
and that kind of helps. I don't
Yeah.
know. I also just think a lot of people in Boulder. I don't really live in Boulder anymore, but in Colorado, I have like tattoos.
Yeah, no, I think I have a very vanilla aesthetic for like what I like. Like even when it comes to like hair colors, makeup, and shit, I'm like keep it as basic as possible. I'm being real.
This guy's looking for default Sims
Yes,
white person, or well, I guess not specifically white person skin.
person. Yeah. Like even like when it comes to like nails,
Default
like
skin.
females getting their nails done, I'm like
Sure.
get skin colored nails. Like
Hmm.
it's not like I hate like customized things or like excessive
Sure.
stuff. It's just like I just prefer the default look for whatever. I don't know why exactly. I don't know. There's not anything in my past like led me to be like this.
It's
Like
just preference.
I look at like goth girls and like shit. I'm like
Sure.
they're hot, but for some reason like my natural
Sure.
preference is just like yeah. Like even when it comes to like I think it's like a not natural. It's like I'm trying to think. Like in like movies or like back in the day, like a woman wearing like red lipstick was like a massive thing. Like when they go out or
Yeah.
something. I think
Mhm.
red lipstick is like not that attractive.
It's all right.
It's like I could deal without it.
Yeah. Going back to the goth thing, that's totally programmed by the fact that every cartoon in the 90s and 2000s had to have a super hot goth like
Yeah, it's true.
cartoon character. It's the amount is funny. Like I've seen people list and they're just like, it's like Danny Phantom, Total Drama Island,
Yeah, Gwen.
the Hex Girls from Scooby Doo, probably a million. Other
Shigo
things.
from Kim Possible.
Yep. Raven from Teen Titans.
Yep. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. They were all around that time period.
Mm-hmm. No, it is kind of crazy. Do you see it
Yeah.
nowadays in modern cartoons? I feel like you don't.
Probably less so. I mean, I think of modern cartoons I watch.
I think a
I
lot of
might
cartoons
do what I
back
can.
then were way more like stereotyped than they are now. So,
That's
like,
true.
You'd have like the goth girl, you'd have like the big strong muscly dude, you'd have like the small nerdy
Yeah.
dude, you'd have like the blonde cheerleader blue-eyed
Yeah.
girl. I feel
You'd
like
have a preppy girl.
I feel like you don't really
You'd
get
have
that
like
as much
the jock.
now. Like everyone's
Yeah, I think we get a little bit better diversity.
yeah, it's more diversity. Everyone's more like it's just like less stereotyped. It's like everyone's kind of like more in the middle of different character types.
The characters, I think, are also just unique and not a stereotype. They're
Yeah.
just a character.
Which is probably objectively better, but I can't lie.
Yeah.
I do love a good stereotype.
Every once in a while, the stereotypes are real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, I got some. I've been. You ever see those videos of someone?
You're
What?
getting there. You're getting there.
I'm getting there slowly. You ever see those videos of like people doing like parkour in Minecraft while some AI voice
Yes.
reads a Reddit thread?
I am on TikTok, yes.
I've been intrigued by some of these hypothetical questions, and I want to ask you some. And to preface, I think there's a lot of hypothetical questions that I think are stupid because they're the ones that are like, for $100 million, would you spend a day alone in a room? And it's like, yes, obviously. Or there's the ones where it's like, it gives you a bunch of money, but you have to deal with this. And like, sometimes those are good, but it's like a lot of times the money helps you deal with the thing.
Yeah. Well, just before you
So
ask your first one,
Oh, yes.
because it's very similar to what you just said, I saw a question last night on Reddit or TikTok or something. It was,
Same.
would
It's
you
all the
rather
same.
$100 million or cure all diseases in the world?
I saw this one when I was doing my research today because I had like some, but I needed to buff it up. The first comments I think essentially were people, and I think this is where the good ones don't necessarily have this, is loopholes.
Mm-hmm.
Where you just go, oh, I'll cure all diseases, but I'll make sure everyone knows about it. I get all, and then they pay me. Or like, I think some people were saying they're like, okay, you have to do this, but you have to be completely unknown.
Yeah.
And I think people were like, well, what if I did it and I asked everyone to pitch in like a nickel?
Yeah,
It's
no.
like most people could.
I'm assuming that
and
it's
you
an
still get, like,
unknown good
millions.
in this case.
I feel like that one, it has to be completely unknown. I think I get more into the science of it as what happens if we have absolutely no disease?
Well, there'd obviously be.
Like, do they come back?
I assume there's just like no disease for the future. Like, there's no way to die from like
Just
a
everyone's
viral
perfectly
or
healthy.
bacterial infection or something.
You just
or
have to
cancer.
die from your organs malfunctioning or like murder.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, for that question for me, I'd go with a no disease because
Yeah, obviously.
obviously the reason why people think about it is because like you're helping the betterment of people. I'm doing it more for a selfish reason, more so than anything.
This man's got diseases.
Because like for all I know, I could die of like cancer at 27. So if I get rid
Sure.
of diseases,
Not
I get to
doing
live
that.
longer, and time is more important
True.
than money.
It is beneficial to when it's beneficial to everyone. You are counted in
Exactly.
in the benefit. So, but I got a couple of these. They're all kind of money related, but they're interesting because it's not the like do this one thing, get a bunch of money. Where a lot of them are more like you do one thing multiple times and you get a bunch of money per, and then it's kind of like when do you stop? Those I think are the interesting ones because it's not just one or the other. It's like, okay, well, how long do you think it goes? So the first one I have, and I have some stuff written down, and you'll ask me loopholes, and I have answers to them.
Oh,
I think
he's come
I
prepared.
don't have everything written down, but I have remembered a lot of it. So you are locked in a room. There's nothing in the room, but like there's a couch, I think like a recliner and maybe a bed. You get like, I don't think there's no kitchen. You get like a bathroom.
Right.
and there's a TV in there. It's the best TV in the world. It's the best sound system in the world. You get $500 per movie you watch. You have no internet access, no communication with anyone in the outside world. There's nothing you can do except for watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
You get a 5-minute break in between the movies, and then obviously you can sleep, but you have to like sleep for 6 hours or more.
Mm-hmm.
This is assuming that like you have the ability to go to sleep. You don't have like insomnia or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take any naps. You can obviously go to the bathroom, but you can't do anything to entertain yourself outside of watching the movie.
Okay.
How long do you make it?
I would probably do enough to get like a month's rent or two, honestly.
I mean, a month's rent is like, I don't know how much.
So $500, that'd be like 5 movies for me.
I guess I'm thinking USD because that's like,
If it's 500 USD, it'd probably be like 4 movies.
yeah.
I'd probably.
Because that's not bad. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
You can stay there for as long as physically possible, but you're just watching movies. The one other caveat I think they said was you could also watch the same movie over and over again. And every time you watch it, you get an extra $500 on top of the 500. So it gets exponential.
Right.
However, if you watch a different movie, you lose all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you'd either have to commit to doing the same movie a bunch of times or a bunch of different movies.
Question.
Yeah.
Does the length of the movie matter?
Has to be 90 minutes or longer.
Okay, that's reasonable. So I just pick. So if I want to do the most money possible, just
Feasibly,
pick,
if you wanted a min-max, you'd find as many 90-minute movies.
or just find one 90-minute movie and just watch that over and over again.
Also true. You would make the most money. It's a question of, would you make it longer watching more movies, or is it just the act of like being bored make you want to leave no matter what?
Well, if I'm
You
just
make more money watching one movie over and over.
yeah, if I'm just doing it purely just to make like enough money for a month of tour rent, I'd probably just watch the same movie like multiple times to get the money up as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So like, for example, this might be too long. Yeah, maybe a bit too long. My favorite movie, Your Name, is 1 hour and 50 minutes. I'd probably pick that
It's not bad.
because not only is it my favorite movie, but it also has
Not too long.
maybe my favorite soundtrack of all time. And it's a stunningly beautiful movie. So even if I get bored of the plot, I can just like look at the fucking visuals and listen to the music of it. And like
Sure.
that'd probably keep me entertained for a while.
Yeah.
The other option is you pick a movie like the old Ben 10 movie where you can pick multiple different options. It's like an interactive movie, so you don't get bored of it.
Sure. I would say that doesn't count as the same movie.
No, but
because it is
the only
inherently
difference is
different.
that a different alien shows up at a different point. Like when
Oh,
when he gets
interesting.
into a fight, you can like choose which alien he turns
Yeah.
into. Could do that.
Could do that. I don't know. I guess, do you think you'd make it longer than a day?
Do you get food as well, or is there no food?
You get food. They give you food.
Anything you want?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a gourmet meal, but like
I can get like
they
popcorn
give you
and a
food that you
Coke.
like. Sure. Yeah, you have snacks.
Yeah, I could probably do a 16-hour shift.
Yeah. I would honestly, I think if we're thinking realistically, I think I just have a hard time falling asleep.
I'd have a hard time staying awake, I think. If I'm sitting or laying on the couch and watching movies back to back.
I guess if you just start slowly watching movies, you'd actually fall asleep relatively easily.
Yeah.
I just wonder if you'd get like restless.
Probably. But like the whole caveat of you not being able to nap, like if you drift off while watching a movie, do you get woken up or something? Like what happens there?
That actually, I think that was one of the things that wasn't addressed, and I'd be curious. So I almost think that you have to watch well, here's the deal. If you don't finish that movie, you don't get paid.
Yeah, true.
And I wonder if that would, I feel like for this, in order to do it, to go to sleep, you have to intentionally go to sleep,
Okay.
which I think is harder because it is really easy to drift off to a movie.
I guess like you could technically cheat the system and like while watching the movie you could like work out, do put some push-ups or something.
They said you can't do that. They said no exercise in the thing. Yeah, you can't.
Can you walk?
You could probably get. I mean, no. I think the goal is you sit down and you watch a movie. Yeah, that's where it gets hard.
Yeah, I'd probably do a day and leave it.
I think I'd do a day and maybe I think I'd try to do the full day, try to sleep, and then see what I can get through the next day and probably leave halfway through.
This is coming from a privileged position. If I was poorer, I'd probably go for more.
Oh, dude, I would just be in there because let's do a little bit of math.
But I don't need the money that bad. If it was more if instead of 500 per movie, it was like 5K, then I might try and stay for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I like this question because it's not a high enough amount where you're like, fuck it, I'll do this. Because that's the thing. When you get questions where it's like, again, $1 million and you're locked in a room for a day, it's like, yeah, that's easy. Because the sacrifice is way lower than the gain. Whereas 500, look, it's a good amount. I think feasibly, if it's all 90-minute movies, you're doing it for 16 hours. You could watch 10 of those in a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's $5,000.
Yeah.
But it's just not enough where you're like, oh, I could just suffer for 2 weeks and be a millionaire.
Exactly.
It's it'd be good, but I think you'd get
get enough for a month or two of rent or something, or a nice holiday, and you're set.
Yeah. Go a couple. I mean, $5,000,
it's pretty good.
$5,000 is nice.
I take it.
A week is $35,000. Feasibly, that's the other thing. If you time it out and you figure out all the 90-minute movies, it's funny. I went onto the comments under this one, and it asked what would you do it? How long do you think you'd last? And people just go, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix. They just start listing movies, and it's that's not really the question because I don't care. But yes, we understand that you could watch a lot of movies. That's not the point. It's not saying could you watch a bunch of movies? It's could you do nothing but watch a bunch of movies?
Yeah, I know. I get bored of movies very quickly.
I think I'd have a hard time because I fidget a lot. I'm fidgeting currently. I think I'd have such a hard time just sitting still. I love watching movies.
Yeah,
but
I think my biggest issue would be deciding which movies to watch, because I have choice paralysis. You spend half crazy.
The time just flipping through Netflix.
Yeah, that'd be my fucking issue.
I think I probably would have that issue.
Because my first thought would be catch up on movies I haven't seen. So I haven't seen Lord of the Rings.
Sure.
But if we're doing the 90-minute
problem
rule,
is
that's kind of stupid.
See, that's what I thought. It was oh, dude, imagine Lord of the Rings marathon, but that's 3 movies in 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you can make a lot more money doing shorter movies.
Now, the interesting thing you could do is if instead of $500 per movie, maybe it's $3 per how long per minute of the movie length runtime.
Sure.
So if you watch a longer
it's
movie,
just it's $1 per hour.
Yeah. Well,
rather it's a time thing, not a movie thing.
Yeah. So if you watch a movie that's 2 hours, you get $200. Whether it's 3 hours, $300.
Sure.
That would give you more choice selection. Still be just as difficult, probably.
Yeah. I think there is something for almost forcing you to want to choose shorter movies, because eventually you run out of short movies that you like.
Yeah.
Or this goes. It's some really good movies are really long. The Dark Knight's 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings are all 3 to 4 hours, depending on the edition you choose. Yeah. Okay, I got another one for you. I think this will be a little bit quicker. This is a yes or no. However, $5,000 a week, which is quite a hefty amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's $250 a year. You can only eat Taco Bell for 15 years.
No.
If you stop at any point between the 50, I think it's an easy no. I think if you hit me with 1 year,
bro, even a year, I wouldn't take it. No,
I don't think I could do it
again. Because it's a privilege thing. If I was poorer, 100% I'd say yes.
Sure.
I don't need it that bad. And also, if the money was more, if it was you got 10 million after a year of just eating Taco Bell, I could probably bag it. 250 is not enough to put myself through that, because my bowels would be shattered after that year, bro. Oh god.
Because
would
that's
not be
the
pretty.
thing is like there's so many of these where it's like you have to do this, but you have like a ton of money, and it's like yeah, but you can't. A lot of things is like you have to do this, but oh, I can go and eat something better. It's like no, you could just eat Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Your system would be fucked. I mean, you probably learn the things where you're like, you walk in and you're like, here's the things that will fuck me up the least, and you can go for like protein and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But still, like you just be eating ground beef, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and tortillas like for 15 years.
Well, question back to you.
Okay.
If you were forced to do that challenge, which fast food restaurant do you think would be the best pick for like only eating that for a whole year?
That's a good question. How broad do we get with fast food?
Like, I think like Nando's would be a good option, and that's
okay.
kind of in between
Never had
fast
it,
food and actual restaurant.
Yeah, I haven't had it, so I can't give a judgment. I guess the question is, how do we define fast food? I think I don't know if I've had this conversation with you, but like, I think there's a difference between fast food and fast casual. And I honestly, to some degree, fast casual is essentially, I feel like it's a step above fast food, but essentially you walk in, you walk in, you order, and it takes a little bit longer. Like fast food is like, the food is kind of prepared before, like a lot of times, like, like I worked at a Chick-fil-A, and like the 6-pack of nuggets is already made. Mm-hmm. It's that they have a couple stacked, ready to go. And then when you order one, they make another one, but the one they make isn't for you. It's for 2 6 things of nuggets down.
Yeah. Like, is Five Guys fast food?
I don't know.
I'd say
the other distinction I give is with fast food, I feel like it just has to be a massive chain.
I agree. Yeah, I think
and Five Guys is, but like a local restaurant that has a similar setup, I think is
So basically, the typical like big chain restaurant where you can like, get the food fast. There's maybe a drive-through if it's like an outdoor location. Like you wouldn't get a drive-through for like a family restaurant that serves food quickly.
No.
So I'd say, but that's the restriction. It's pretty open-ended, but like that roughly.
I think a sandwich shop. I feel like
Subway.
I would like a Subway or like a Firehouse or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy John's or whatever. Because there's a lot of variety there. Chipotle, I think maybe.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Chipotle's not bad in that you can change like the type, but also actually I don't think Chipotle really has a whole lot of ingredients. Like I would never do McDonald's.
Well, I was actually going to say McDonald's is actually a pretty good choice.
Really? Why do you say that?
So I say this for a few reasons. There's I don't know what he is. I think he's like a marketing guy or something. A British dude. I can't remember his name. He's like a bigger guy. But he talks a lot about like human psychology and marketing and a lot of other things. And he has a really good like speech about why McDonald's is so successful. Okay. And it's the fact that McDonald's is not amazing, but it's really, really good at being just good all the time. Like you very rarely ever go to McDonald's and get like sick from eating it. Like you'll get like a meal.
That's true.
Like you'll get a meal that's like, this is okay. But if you go to like a Mexican shop or like maybe Asian restaurants, there's a much higher risk of it being bad and making you sick. McDonald's is like phenomenal at just being like good at worst. Yeah. So like if you eat McDonald's for a year, there's a good amount of variety in it. You can get chicken meals, you can get like beef meals, you can get like salads. And it's like you're probably not going to get sick from it. You may get fat and like feel a bit bad if you have too much of it, but you're not going to be like sick. Like Usain Bolt, before like his Olympic runs, he would eat a diet of like chicken McNuggets, like purely because it gives him because it gave him protein, and you wouldn't get sick from it because it's just like good enough.
Yeah.
Saying that, I don't know if I'd pick McDonald's, but it's not actually a bad option.
I'd pick McDonald's. It's not a bad option. It beats others. Oh gosh. Or you could do one of those where like Domino's. I think Domino's is one of those restaurants where like it does pizza and then all of a sudden they're like, yeah, they do fucking wings. Maybe, I don't know. They do pasta, they do subs. It's like it's kind of a restaurant at that point rather than fast food. But
no, I think I'd pick Nando's. I've been having it more recently. I didn't like it. Like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like my favorite up until recently. But recently I've been getting the barbecue seasoning or like sauce instead of like the
Yeah.
regular Nando's stuff, which may be seen as sacrilege to like people that like
Sure.
Nando's.
I'll assume that you're right and everyone else is wrong.
But I really like the barbecue flavoring on the chicken. And I was like, this shit good. I get like barbecue chicken, get like corn on the
Nice.
cob, like cooked corn on the cob,
Oh yeah, nice,
and some pita bread with some sauce. It's a good meal.
nice.
And they have a lot of
never had
variety.
Nando's, so
I've never had British Nando's, and I think it's a lot better than Australian Nando's. So
I don't know. Have you heard of British food?
Well, Nando's isn't
We've had
British.
this
It's
debate.
Portuguese chicken.
You're so right, but I feel like it's like really big and
Yeah, it's big in. I think
England.
it must have been
is
made
it bigger
in
in England than it is in Portugal?
I don't know if it's even in
Is
Portugal.
it even in Portugal?
I don't think so.
Gotta.
I think Nando's. This may be a bit disrespectful, but I think Nando's is like the Taco Bell of like Portuguese food. But higher quality maybe, but I think it's in a similar vein where it's like it's that cuisine, but it was made in a different country.
Sure.
But no, Nando's is known
Yeah.
as being like really high quality food, like not high quality, but like
Huh.
really loved food. It's like really, really good in England.
Yeah.
And they have a lot more variety in England than they do in Australia. Like, if you look at the
Okay,
menus,
that
they
makes
have
sense.
way more variety.
That makes sense. The other thing with McDonald's is McDonald's menu has a lot of variety if you go to different countries. So if you had to do it, you could do a lot of traveling.
You could, yeah.
You'd still have to go to McDonald's and you probably have to stay in like big cities. But you would end up actually eating a lot of different food.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure like McDonald's in India doesn't really serve burgers a whole lot.
Yeah, I think
This
there's
is what I've heard.
I think there's one in the Philippines that's like, or like some country that's like they do like a spaghetti or something burger.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
Ah.
that is a good point. Yeah, the mixed spaghetti.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
Oh god, that's horrendous. It's just I don't know if it's
That
still a
sounds
thing, but
horrible.
it's just a spaghetti dish in like a McDonald's like packaging.
Huh. I think Panera
Apparently, it was
could also
sold in
be a good
Orlando,
one.
Florida, and in the Philippines. Which I was right about that.
two of the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I couldn't do the Taco Bell thing. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's too long. I think I got like a month of Taco Bell in me.
Yeah, I could probably do it
Maybe.
if
And
instead
even
of
then, I think it'd be like a rough month.
if instead of a restaurant it was cuisine. I could probably do it.
Yeah, like a type of food.
Yeah, and as much as
Yeah.
people might question me for this, I'd probably pick between Japanese or British food.
Pick the first one.
And the reason why I say
Dare
British
you.
food is because
Mushy peas.
I don't mean like that. I mean like British. There's this big thing on
Like
TikTok
what?
right now. If you call it tavern food, people fucking love it. Like
Okay, that's fair,
'Cause
but
it's
how
this-
British is it truly?
like most of those like
It's the same stuff.
shepherd's pie is British food, and shepherd's pie is maybe my favorite dish in the world. Is one
Shepherd's pie is good.
best
I've
things
had
ever.
it. I
shepherd's
used to have it
pie,
as a kid,
meat
actually, a
pie,
lot.
fish and chips, sausage rolls, like a Sunday roast. Like all this shit is British food, and it's incredible. So I could survive off that for a year easily.
Yeah, I think if I picked a cuisine, it'd be easy. Mexican.
The
I do
reason why I say
Mexican food.
British is just because it's very like plain. So I'm very rarely gonna get sick of the flavoring because there's not too much flavoring. It wouldn't like with Mexican. I feel like I couldn't have Mexican 3 times a day for a year.
Man, I can't get sick of it because it doesn't taste like anything. It fucking sucks, dude. That sounds awful. Can't get sick of it because it's already bad.
It's not that it sucks. It's just that it's not overpowering.
I know. Yeah, but it's not like Mexican food's necessarily overpowering. It just tastes good.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can also get a lot of decent amount of variety in
Like
Mexican food.
I've grown up in an Australian New Zealand household where there's a lot of
I mean,
British
yeah.
dishes, man. People hate on British
There's a
food.
lot of Mexican in America.
Yeah, there's a lot of British food that is bad and plain, but the good British food I'd
Sure.
say is as good as any other cuisine, man.
No, I'm sure there's good food. There's just a lot of bad food.
Yes, you just don't eat the bad food. Easy.
Yeah, but the problem is, of course, it's social media and it's probably not real. But there's people that gas up the bad food.
Yeah.
They're like, "Nah, dude, you don't get it. This thing's great, and it's just like what looks like throw up." And they're like, "This is so good."
Nah, like mushy peas is actually horrendous. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
But like,
It's like, how could it not be?
bro, shepherd's pie. Oh, I haven't had it.
Shepherd's pie is good.
I haven't had shepherd's pie in like over a year, and I saw a TikTok of it the other day,
It's
and
been a
I
while.
cried.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
I miss it.
I used to have it as a kid. It was good.
It's
I
great,
remember it.
fantastic.
All
All right, next one.
right, I got a slightly more complicated one. So there's going to be a little bit more rules. You could poke at the rules. I should have everything for it. All right, so you get a brand new car. I think the person specified after being poked at the rules. It's a 2024 Toyota Camry. It's not flashy. It works.
Basic boy, cool.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. You have 1 year to drive 200,000 miles. For your that's a lot of miles. Gosh. I mean, I guess I could do a conversion.
126,000 kilometers. Wait,
Other way around. It should
321,000
be more-
kilometers.
There you go. It's a lot. A lot of cars, their lifetime is 200,000 to 300,000.
Yeah.
I think on average the past couple of years I've been doing like 10,000. 200,000 in a year. Quite a lot. However, if you are successful, after the year you get that car to 200,000 miles, $10 million. Now there's a couple caveats. You are given a credit card that is unlimited. It can only be spent on basic necessities: food, housing, gas, any sort of maintenance on the car, anything that you would need. I think it can be fudged slightly. Like you could buy yourself some new clothes, nothing fancy, but like,
Yeah.
you can fudge it. And the reason I say you can fudge it is if you're unsuccessful to getting it to 200,000, you have to pay back everything off that card by the end of the year. So you have to be successful. You want to be successful.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Chief. I
Probably
don't
not.
know if this is possible.
It is possible.
Well, no, I mean,
sure.
mathematically it is. So I calculated it, and this is in kilometers because it's the better measurement. That's 881
Tit for tat.
kilometers a day.
Mm-hmm.
The distance between Melbourne and Sydney is 865 kilometers,
Mm-hmm.
which is a 10-hour plus drive. You'd have to be driving for around 11 hours a day, every day for 365 days.
It depends on how fast you drive.
Yeah, of course, but I think you would end up dying from like sleep deprivation on the road.
So I got some numbers. Someone said you'd have to do, and this is going to be miles, 548 miles a day on average. If you go on a highway where you can go 80 miles an hour, which exists, you very much can do that. Not a whole lot. A lot of them do 75. That takes about 6.85 hours. So I think there are two ways to go about this if you choose to go with it. One is you essentially just make it like a full-time job. You drive for 8 hours. You drive 4 hours one way, 4 hours back. You get a bunch of miles. You're done. The second way to do it, and maybe you could do a combination of these, is essentially this is a paid road trip that you end up with at $10 million.
Mm-hmm.
You drive all across the country. You see a bunch of places. You aren't really spending money because you're paying for your necessities. You might pay for like the resorts out of pocket. But if you save like $5,000, or you don't need to save a whole lot in order to get this. I've seen some people that commented, they're like, I would blog, I would set up like a dash cam and just like upload to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would kind of do a whole journey with it. It's definitely possible.
So I
But
would
it's a lot.
probably have to say no, purely for the fact. Well, there's two reasons. One, I wouldn't trust myself to be that consistent with it. I think I'd struggle to do it every day for a year. And second of all, because I'm tall, I get really sore very quickly sitting in a car. Because my legs are long, they usually get bunched up when sitting there, like driving, and I get like really sore joints like near my hip. So 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day or whatever would start to like break away at me like very, very quickly. I don't think I'd like physically be able to handle it. If it was a bigger car or if I was shorter or something, maybe. I think I'd just be in too much pain, honestly.
Yeah. Oh god, I didn't think about the fact that like you'd have to like the sitting in the car portion.
Yeah,
would
you'd
suck.
get fucked, bro.
Yeah. Another rule that gets put in here is you can share the car with anyone, but anytime. I never necessarily like this rule, but I think it's the whole like you can have companionship. Anyone in the car, you have to split with them for that day, and it came up to $280,000 a day.
Wow.
That's the one thing that makes this really enticing. I think someone saw they were like, if you're going 60 miles an hour, like 70 miles an hour on a highway, you're making like 3,200 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If you break it down.
Can the other person drive?
No, you are the only driver.
Because
yeah,
I guess
I know.
Because if you had like a partner, you could just like take shifts, and that would be easy.
Yeah, I mean, feasibly, this 2024 Toyota Camry has cruise control. It'd be weird if it
true.
didn't. So you're not necessarily straining your foot. I mean, you're sitting for a really long period of time.
I could fully understand doing it. I just think, I don't think I could like physically sit in a car for that long.
It'd be hard.
It would fuck
and the
me
thing
up.
is, and that's the thing is, it's like I've gone on road trips before where I've done longer than what this is like averaging per day. Like I've gone on like a 12 or 14 hour. I think I did like a 14 hour one time.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if the money would be like enough. I think I'd do a lot of road tripping.
The money is definitely enough. I think if it was like, if you took it out from being a car thing and it was like you had to walk a certain amount of kilometers every day, I could probably manage it more. It's just the fact that also, if you're sitting for that long, because realistically, you're not going to be driving over 80
Every
miles
single
at all times. So it's probably going to be closer to 10 hours, 9 hours a day driving minimum.
Yeah, I think if you
get
made
sick?
it a job, you would just find like a stretch of highway and just run it.
Yeah. What if you got like
Just back
sick
and
for like a
forth.
week or two though? Then you have to make up for that time.
You got to make it up.
Like, yeah, it'd be really. I think if you was like walking
It'd
or
be
something,
tough.
it's at least more healthy and you can like stay near your like home.
That's true.
I think it's just the fact of being stuck in a car for that long would. I know there's a lot of people that could definitely do it. Like that overnight truck drivers could do this easy. But like, I don't even drive. I haven't driven since November when I was back at my parents' place. I think there's no way I'd be able to.
Yeah. Let's see. If you took weekends, I'm trying to figure out.
It's definitely tempting. But I think the distance is just a bit too much for me. Like just a tad.
Yeah, if you made this like a full-time job, you're going 80 miles an hour. Let's be honest, I'd probably find like a stretch where I could go like, 85 or even 90. If you took weekends, it'd be 9 hours a day.
It's also like a year of your life that you're giving up to like just drive back and forth.
I think that's one where you'd have to make it like you'd have to travel, because if you're like, this is my day job, like I don't know, it sucks. I think it'd get better. I saw like a couple people who were like, I was a truck driver and I would easily, and they're like, I would do like long days, but they're like, I would get like over 1,000 miles a day.
Yeah.
So you could extend it. I think what I would do is I'd start off and I'd be like, all right, I'm going to make this a day job and just drive for like, 8 hours a day. And then every like couple of months, I'd be like, all right, we're doing a long ass road trip. It's going to up the numbers a whole lot, which kind of helps you on weekends and like averaging stuff out. But yeah, that's a whole year of your life.
Yeah. Well, I just searched this up. The Federal Highway Admission for American truck drivers states that long distance trucks drive just over 100,000 miles a year. So you're doing double what like professional long haul truck, and that's like one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, because if you get sleep deprivation and drift off on the road, you also are just driving in general is increasing a risk of death. I think I'd be scared to do it just because it'd be like, if you're driving that much, the chance of me crashing is going up so fucking high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could understand why people would do it. I think I would maybe have to pass.
I think I would maybe like, yeah, I think it'd be tough. I think the money is tempting, and I've done long drives, and I don't necessarily mind them. Yeah, I think it'd be tough.
I think there's too many
I'm
risks
tempted.
associated for me.
That's fair. I'm just tempted by it,
That's completely understandable.
which is fair. Kind of a different one, kind of interesting. I at first I thought it was a social experience, a little bit less, but 100 people are put into a dark room. It's absolutely. You all sit like in chairs, like in a row and whatever. You can't see each other. You can't see anything. You have a button in front of you to press. So everyone in this room puts in $100. So it totals to 10,000. What they do is at some point where everyone can see, there is a green light flashes. And after that green light, you have 10 minutes. The goal essentially is to hit the button at the 10-minute mark as close as physically possible.
Right.
So essentially you're guesstimating time. You can't, in this scenario, I'm going to say you can't hear, you can't see when anyone else presses a button. Arguably, you could say that you're in a different like room than someone.
Yeah.
Whichever way works for you. How well do you think you're going to do, and what do you think you do?
So this actual similar scenario played out on a YouTube reality show called Locked In, by a channel called Foot Asylum. There's basically a challenge where like there was 10 people or 8 people something, and they put them in like cardboard boxes. They'd like sit in a cardboard box, and they had to like basically stand up when they thought it hit 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And there was a few people that got pretty close, like within like 10 seconds of it.
Yeah.
So what would I do? So there's a few strategies I could come up with. One, you pick like a song you know the length of, around like 3 minutes. You know it really well, and you just sing it in your head 3 times, and then you should be around 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's one way. 2, if you think you have a really good sense of time, you could just like tap the seconds in your head.
Sure.
Which I feel like I'd be good at for maybe a minute or 2, but 10 is a long time.
I think 10 I would like lose it.
I think I'd probably just sing a song.
I actually like the song. I think with enough preparation, you find a song that's 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, and you just like nail the timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the real question. Honestly, how well do you think you would do?
I think I'd get within a minute, either side.
I think I'd get within a minute.
Yeah.
I think I could.
Now, how well do you think you'd do if all you could do was like count in your head?
Because the thing is counting is, I think, probably one of the better ways to do it because it's mathematical. It makes sense. Here's the deal. A, you can't get lost. And B, if you're just fast enough or just slow enough, you're really off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're too fast by 1/10 of a second, you're going up 1/10 of a second. Every 10 seconds, you're off by a second. And there's a lot more sets of 10 seconds.
I think you'd have to
you're off by a minute, which isn't bad, but
I think you'd have to do like a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi thing.
Yeah, something to keep you.
It probably gives you, instead of just going 1, 2, 3, it gives you,
because you can go 1, 2, like you can lengthen or go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you can lengthen it or shorten it a whole lot.
But if you have a word in between, it makes it a lot easier to keep it consistent, I think.
Yeah. I also think the question begs is like, if you get prep time, because I think in a day you could train yourself.
Yeah.
To get it. This is interesting because like it's between 100 people. It's not a bet I would make. It's really poor bet.
Well, no,
this one
I'd
actually
make
didn't
it.
give you the.
Why not? If it's
You're betting as
$100.
Oh, so here's the deal. So you put in 100. Everyone else puts in 100. You get a total of 10 grand. The closest person takes it all.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You're betting against 99 other people.
It's fun. $100 isn't that much.
I mean, fair. That's a good amount.
Uh,
I mean, I guess it's not like a huge amount, but
if it was like 1,000, I probably wouldn't do it.
sure. Well, yeah.
100's low enough, or like, fuck it, why not? I'll take a chance.
That's the slippery slope of of a gambling addiction, is what I'm hearing.
Bro, I've spent like $100 on a fucking what did I buy recently? Trying to remember.
Did you buy it recently?
I bought something recently.
Is it FIFA points?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're trying to keep it good this
Keyword.
year. But no, again, privileged position. There's a lot of people that couldn't afford $100.
Sure.
That's
100%.
a low enough amount where I'd be willing to do it. I think over 500,
Okay.
I'd probably be like, yeah, probably not.
Okay. Fair enough. I will delete that. We're coming down. I got 3 more. We'll see.
We're
if we
yelling
get to them.
timber.
We're yelling timber.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, man. $100 an hour. You cannot communicate whatsoever. How long do you last? When I say you can't communicate, can't talk, no body language, no writing, no like any form of communicating, you cannot do.
Oh, I could go.
No one knows you're doing this.
I could go a week or two easy.
You could go for a while. You think you just sit in your room.
Yeah, I don't really like. In terms of texting, I text and call people quite a lot, but in terms of seeing people in person, I only see like.
Yeah, I guess it's
In terms of seeing friends, I only see friends in person. This sounds sad again, but maybe like once a month. So in terms of that, it
Sure.
wouldn't be too bad. In terms of like, and like even when I go to the shops, I don't really like talk to anyone usually. The most like
but you communicate to them
no, I don't really.
in some fashion.
How?
There's some amount of communicating.
I do self checkout.
Yeah,
I don't talk to the security guard that stands out. I don't talk to the concierge at my apartment building.
I mean, sure.
Unless I need to get a package or something.
I guess I mean like if you go to somewhere where like you're not doing self checkout, there's some amount of communication there.
Yeah, well, I don't. Whenever I leave my
Fair
apartment, I
enough.
usually have music in and don't talk or speak to anyone.
Yeah, I guess this is pretty much built for you, isn't it?
Yeah, like the only. Would I be able to upload YouTube videos? Does that count as communication, or is it because it's one-sided?
Yes.
It's fine.
Nope, counts communication.
Yeah, I could.
You would not be uploading YouTube videos.
What if I upload a YouTube video, but I just don't look or reply to the comments?
If you say absolutely nothing, there's no communication. The problem is, I think it gets hairy in the like, well, what's communicating?
Yeah, the speaking
you could argue.
to a camera count as communicating.
Yeah,
But
of course it does.
fine, I just wouldn't upload for a week then.
I was gonna say, I think if you post something, that is a form of communication.
Okay, how many hours in a week? 168
168. Oh yeah, I remember that.
times
So-
100. Wait, $100 an hour?
$100 an hour.
That's 16k.
So 16.
16.8 thousand. Yeah, I could do a
Yeah.
week easily.
See, I think I'd have a problem.
You'd struggle because you live with your girlfriend.
I live with my girlfriend, and also I work at a job.
Yeah.
I think I just have to do it on like, because I don't work Mondays and she does. I think I just have to be like, okay, I'd probably just do it from when I fall asleep on Sunday, and then just essentially fake. If I wake up before she goes to work, I just like don't.
Or if
I just
you
fake being asleep.
have prep time, you could leave a note to your girlfriend saying like,
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
yes.
and then go no, leave a note to her saying that don't worry, everything's fine, and then go book a
Yeah.
hotel for a week and then come back with a bunch of money. She might question how you got the money, but you'll be like, hey, it's fine.
She'd be really pissed at me for a week, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, I
Yeah.
think I've gone a week without talking to people before, so
I could say that. But like you've definitely texted us.
then I think there's maybe been a week where I haven't even done that, honestly.
I mean, maybe.
Or like to the point where it was like very, very minimal level of communication. I mean, like
Yeah.
I could definitely do. I think over a week it'd start to get tough because people like start worrying about me.
Mhm.
But no, a week for 16k, which is like 4 months of living expenses, 5 months, yeah, easy.
Yeah, that's fair. I got another one that I think would work really well with your setup, but I think could be harder for some other people. So you get $1 per step for 7 random days in a year. You do not pick the days. What happens is some mysterious billionaire is giving you this offer in a calendar year.
Cool.
You get $1 per step on 7 random days that he picks. It could be all in a row. They could be all at the end. They could be completely scattered.
Mhm.
You don't know until at midnight you get a text that says, this is one of the days. go forth.
Right.
How well do you think you do? I think you'd probably do pretty well.
Yeah. Well, if you, it's like if I get this message from the billionaire today saying like for the next year there'll be 7 days where you need to get steps, I'd just buy like an indoor treadmill or like one of those ones at your desk that you can like walk on.
Yeah.
And then whenever the day comes, I just like if I'm feeling up to it, I go outside and walk. But if not, I just walk all day on the treadmill inside, or go up to my gym in my building. And just
see, it's easy for you because like your job is YouTube, so you can kind of do it whenever. You can essentially you just postpone a day.
You can take a sick day
of work. I can say, well, here's the deal. I like stand on my feet at work. Yeah. So like
you'd get a decent amount of steps anyways.
I get a decent amount of steps anyways, and then outside of work, I would just pace.
Like how many steps per day do you get on average already? Do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't track it at all.
I would assume you get at minimum
like at least
5.
5. Probably like 5.
So even if you don't do anything extra, that's what?
That's $5,000.
That's $35,000 extra a year for like not changing your life at all.
Yeah.
If you added an extra 5,000 on top of that, that's $70,000 a year. That's what?
Yeah.
Like more than the minimum. That's like
amount
more than like the median wage.
Thing. So a lot of comments are like, I would just like I'd call in sick that day. I would just wouldn't go to work. I almost think to some degree, feasibly speaking, it'd be unnecessary. You could quit your job because if 7 days out of the year, you get 30, 40, 50,000 steps in a day.
Yep.
It's doable. It's a lot. It's doable. Multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Like when we were on last year, when we both went to Germany, there were multiple days where I was getting like 20 to 25,000 steps.
We were easily getting like 20.
If you just went on holiday,
you get good shoes,
and
you
just
make sure you're
walked around, easy.
And that would pay for your holiday too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even if you on a low end, if when that day happens, you can get 10,000 steps by walking for like 2 hours. That's easy.
Yeah.
Like
I think someone said that they averaged like in 10K or in 10 miles, they're averaging 22K.
Yeah.
People run marathons.
Yeah, like it would be tough for me depending on the day, because like if again, like going back to my like itchy shit, if it's like a really fucking hot day, I might struggle. But again, I'd probably just go to the gym and just like walk on the treadmill indoors for like a few hours, and like again, an extra 70K a year, that's fucking massive. Easy.
I'd even almost betting on the day, either like attempt to call out sick. Or just like, I'd almost consider just telling my boss and being like, hey, I have this thing. It's super weird. Unless it's a super busy day, I'm just not going to come in. I'll even throw you something extra.
Yeah.
Just so that you're cool with this.
Like, average steps per hour. Let's math this out. While walking at a moderate pace of 3 miles or 5.6 kilometers an hour, is about 6,000 steps an hour for the average person. I think it'd be a bit less for me because I'm taller, but let's just say 6,000 an hour. Again, if you make this your full-time job and walk 8 hours a day, that's 48,000 steps a day.
That's the thing. You could quit your job and then essentially just train and like walk a bunch a day so that you're like up for it. And then once the day, because you'll know when the day happens. Here's the deal. It's also 12 to 12. Yeah. Like midnight to midnight. It's not like a waking period. You could feasibly go, oh, cool, I'll get some steps in, go to sleep, be rejuvenated, wake up, get more steps in.
So it's, if you do it only for 8 hours a day, which you could easily do more because walking's not like a very exhausting thing to do.
And you could take breaks.
It's over $300,000 a year.
Yeah. And the nice thing is like, I think like your feet would hurt, but as long as feasibly these days are random and not
not back to back,
dispersed next to each other. And even if it is, I'd do that for a week and just chug it out. I think it'd obviously be harder. It'd be nicer if they're spread out, but like, it's doable.
Or even if it was like 7 days for a week, like back to back days. Like if I go on a long walk or run one day when I haven't been exercising, I get sore the next day to the point where I don't want to do anything. But if I know I'm making that much money from doing it, I'd take some painkillers.
That's the thing is
get through it.
Yeah.
Like you'd be fine.
I would also I'd be walking every day generally.
Yeah.
Like I'd be walking a couple miles every day just so that when it comes, like I'm at least somewhat trained
Yeah, or like
for
when
it.
I'm watching TV in my room, I would just like walk around my room and just slowly get my steps up that way as well.
Yeah.
Or like I said, buy a treadmill and just like do that all day.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish there was
I
some
think
rich
it's-
billionaire that would pay me a lot to step.
Dude. That's what we need. Well, I mean, Mr. Beast exists, but like
Well,
that's what we need
Mr.
is just
Beast,
rich-
no, he pays you to undergo
He pays you
war
to do
crimes.
war crimes.
Yeah, baby.
But then there's the other things that are less bad.
Yeah.
Add some bad thing. I mean, he does it for money, but yeah, we need the billionaires that do like charitable wacky shit,
Mhm.
not like evil mastermind wacky shit. Not the Lex Luthor wacky shit where you're
Exactly.
like, are you gonna like enslave humanity?
Okay, I got a question for you.
Oh
I
yeah.
was listening to another podcast and they were talking about showering. So on the
Okay.
theme of would you rather, or like hypothetical
Hypothetical
money questions, would you go an entire year without showering for $1 million?
I don't know. I can't bathe or anything. Like, there's no like.
The only thing you can do is apply like deodorant and like cologne. You can't actually like wash anything with water. If you like
Yeah, you
theoretically, if it's
I gotta
raining,
wash my hands.
if it's raining and you're out in the rain, you can get wet that way.
but I can't physically wash myself.
No like soap. You can wash your hands after like the bathroom, but like no like full body, hair, none of that.
No shampoo.
No.
No face cleaner. No. Okay.
Can't even like get in the bath or just for a bit of nice soothingness.
Because $1 million's a good amount of money, but no shower.
Because with you as well,
No.
you have to like go to work and then be with people as well,
Yeah.
which is worse.
you'd be disgusting.
I don't know if I could. Again, I have the privilege of I could just like stay inside most of the times. I wouldn't have to bother other people.
True. But you'd be like soaking in your filth at some point.
Yeah, it would get pretty bad after a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could. Maybe, but like.
Okay, let's change the parameters. Instead of
Okay.
a year for $1 million, what about a month for 100,000?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's not as bad. A month, I think, sure.
6 months
Kind of gross, but for how much?
or 500k.
No.
Okay. Yeah, there is like a thing is as well. I know after a certain amount of time, I know with this happens with shampooing. If you stop shampooing after a certain amount of time, your hair like naturally starts to like become healthier again, and like your natural oil starts to
Yeah.
like fix your hair. I don't know if that happens with the rest of your body.
That's the thing. Look, I just shave my head and wouldn't have to worry about hair, but I'd still be so greasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the
And
thing
like,
is, would,
yeah, you could get. I guess you could get around the smell, but I think the problem is, I think you'd know deep down that you're gross.
I don't know if you stop showering for like say 3 months. After 3 months, would like the greasy feeling go away? I feel like you'd either one get used to it, or your body would like stop the oil production or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
feel,
feel like it wouldn't stop. I mean, the thing is, I don't think it'd stop the oil production because, like, you keep intaking oil because you're eating food.
yeah, that is true.
So do you? So the oil's still there. I don't know.
Yeah, it would definitely be bad. Like there would be.
It'd be bad.
And speaking about showering, this may be a moment where I out myself.
Uh-oh.
How many times a week? How many
long?
times a week do you think is reasonable to shower?
I mean, it depends on the person. I know women tend to do it a little bit less out of like
Hair.
washing their hair, and really just people with longer hair. But I don't know. I think two or three is like minimum.
Okay, that's reasonable.
I tend to, but I get kind of dirty at work.
That's it.
Not terribly dirty, but like I sweat a lot at work.
So my thing is that I will shower at a minimum like 3 times a week, and that's because
Yeah.
I don't get sweaty and work out like every day. I don't go out all
Yeah.
day. Like if I'm going out to see people, I will shower.
Yeah.
But if I'm like staying in my house by myself all day, I don't really like after a day or two of not showering. There's a lot of people I know that like they'll feel disgusting and they'll feel like grimy and shit. I don't really get that after a few days. It takes me like close to a week to like really feel like shit.
See, I noticed that like when I work, I shower every day.
Yeah.
But that's because I get dirty enough that I'm like, I need a shower.
Mm-hmm.
When I am on my weekend, if I haven't done anything, I don't necessarily feel the need to shower a whole lot.
Same.
Maybe towards the end, I'm like, I'm getting a little greasy, especially with my hair being longer. Like, it'll be a little greasy. But it's like, I'll just do it tomorrow because I'm going to get dirty anyways.
Same.
So
for me as well, like I actually, more often than not, I feel worse after I shower because my skin gets really fucking dried out. And obviously I know moisturizer. I use moisturizer on my face after, but my hair gets really dry as well. Much more difficult to use moisturizer on your hair when it's long. And also, I don't know if this is a dry skin thing or something else. My back gets like really like itchy and sensitive. So like if I put on a t-shirt after I shower, it's like really fucking itchy for like an hour afterwards.
Interesting.
And it's like, it's such an annoying like thing. So I'm always like, a lot of times I'm like hesitant to shower because I don't want to feel shit afterwards. But obviously I still do. But yeah, like I know there are a lot of people, like Alana is one of them, who like will shower multiple times a day. And I can only understand that if
clean boy.
If you wake up and shower because you just feel like showering and then you go and get really sweaty from a workout or something, I can understand why you'd shower twice a day like that.
Yeah.
If you shower twice a day and you've not done any like activities, that's weird as fuck to me. I feel like you're wasting water and drying out your skin like an unnecessary amount. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, that man moisturizes. This is a test to see how long he listens because we might get a text in a couple days. Or not.
Who knows?
Shout out. Yeah, I don't really see a need to shower twice unless you're like, yeah, you shower once and then you like work out enough where you're like, I gotta shower again.
Yeah. Because it's on the internet. So I see a lot of tweets recently where someone's like, oh, I don't shower every day. And they get fucking roasted by everyone. So I'm expecting people to roast me.
Every day.
You just don't need to. Again, if you're working every day or working out, understandable. If you're sitting at home for 2 days in the weekend,
go to like a desk. You go to a desk job and you sit there and don't exert yourself at all and you go home.
Yeah.
You're not really gross. You don't need to shower. Actually, really, for your hair, it's better that you don't like shampoo every day.
Yep.
And like, obviously, you could wash and just like run your hair through, but like, usually it's better. I mean, it depends on length of hair.
I have an issue that if I just wet my hair and don't use shampoo, it gets really itchy afterwards. So like when I shower, I have to shampoo, but I don't want to do it every day, so I don't shower every day unless I'm going out or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was watching. I brought this up because I was watching one of the Sidemen's podcasts recently, just because I was trying to get an insight on the KSI Dan TDM drama. And Harry from the Sidemen. So they were talking about this, and he was like, "Oh, sometimes I shower like up to 4 or 5 times a day."
No, that's too many.
Because he showers morning and evening, and then he also showers after every time he goes to the toilet.
What if he's in public? Do you think he
just doesn't really like? I think he'll either go home or he won't shit in public. Because what he does,
you think he just like goes to a urinal and he's just like,
no,
I need to
taking a shit. Not
like only
pissing.
when he shits.
So what he does, and this is
be really bad,
well known within the fandom, but it's really odd to me. When he takes a shit, he has to take off all his clothes.
That's you don't.
You
really don't have
to. He will. Like,
I understand this is what he does.
So he takes off. He'll like take off his shoes, socks, pants, underwear, shirt, and like fold it and put it on his shoes so it doesn't touch the ground. Go to the bathroom, and then he'll go take a shower afterwards, which is insane to me. It's like too much work.
Do you think he buys toilet paper?
Well, I think he does, but he also like washes with the water afterwards. Which in that case, I'm like, get a bidet,
I feel like that's a waste of the toilet paper.
You should just get a bidet.
Because if you're gonna shower right after, you can wash it out with the shower.
Yeah. No, I'd just get a bidet.
Because I mean, that's what a bidet is. It's shooting water up your butt, not up it, but around it. So why would you wipe with toilet paper and then take a shower and clean it?
Yeah.
Also, why would you take a shower? Also, why would you fold your clothes?
There's a lot going wrong there.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. I can understand the feeling of wanting to be clean afterwards, but like,
Sure.
You don't need to go that far,
Not taking a
surely.
shower.
It's a bit too much.
Not taking a shower. That is too much.
Like if I've had some explosive diarrhea, I might be like, yeah, I should hop in for a bit. But on a
Sure, but
normal
I
one,
hope he's not having explosive diarrhea twice a day, every day. He's got worse issues if that's the case.
yeah, exactly. That'd be a big
I like the
problem.
idea that this is like a known thing. And then he's like, well, yeah, like it explodes and gets everywhere. And it's like, it's been like a decade and people are just finding that out. And they're like, oh,
That's weird.
do you think this was a taught thing? Or like he did it himself?
I don't know because
Is this run in the family?
I'm not sure because the thing is, I can understand the idea of needing to take off some clothes when you go to the bathroom. Because like if I'm like if it's a big one or I'm like constipated or something and I'm struggling,
Sure.
I sometimes take off my shirt. I just
Sure, yeah. Look, sometimes you need the extra.
exactly. You need a bit of extra like
Yeah.
raw power.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
Yeah.
sometimes
it gets hot in there and you're like, I
Exactly.
just gotta.
but like from minute
Yeah.
one,
But
stripping down
not every time.
stripping down naked
Not,
is crazy.
not most of the time. I'm not doing this most of the time. Stripping down, it's folded too, so you know it's intentional. It's not like one of those things where you're like, oh, I gotta go, and you just like take everything
Yeah.
off. This is like,
Yeah, he like folds it onto his shoes. Like imagine I can't imagine he does this in like an airplane bathroom. Surely not, man.
yeah.
Like God.
God, the people after him are just have to be pissed. They're like, what is taking this guy so long? Probably takes fucking 15 minutes for him to use a bathroom.
Yeah, it's insane.
He only takes planes that have showers.
Well, he is rich, so that's probably the case, to be honest.
I mean, he could, but what did he do when he was younger
yeah,
and not rich?
who knows?
I don't know.
Speaking of going to the bathroom, because it's a fun topic.
Oh yeah.
What's the average length you'd say you spend in there if you're taking a dump? Because I know there are some people that get in, get out, just do their business. There's some people that will just sit there.
Look, inevitably, my
Indubitably.
phone's coming out,
Yeah, same.
and I'm gonna. Because the problem, look, sometimes you're like, I know this is gonna be a quick one, and it comes out, it's done, you're good, and you're like, cool. Sometimes you're like, I gotta give a little push, or you gotta let the bowels move a little bit, because maybe you went a little too early, or whatever. Maybe I'm not eating right. That's probably the case.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll just sit on my phone, I'll let my bowels move a little bit, do their thing, and then it'll all come out. And then it finds out it's been in there for 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just fucking sitting on your phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I think for me, it's either short or long. Like, it's like I'm either in there for like 2 minutes, like I get
Or
it
like
done,
20.
wash my hands, leave.
Yeah.
Or it's like 20 because it's like I get in there and go, oh, I need a little more time. Phone's out. I'm sitting. I'm scrolling. I'm
Yep.
just burning time. And all of a sudden you're like, I've been on this toilet for too long.
Yep. I've also developed the bad habit of that. Even when I've finished taking the dump, before I like wipe and get up and clean myself, I need to find like a TikTok of the right length to like play the entire time that I'm doing the cleanup. Because if like I don't want to like I don't want it to like replay the whole
You want
fucking
to be
time.
scrolling
Yeah.
while you're like wiping because you kind of like, you don't really want to use your hand anymore.
Exactly.
I guess you could use the other hand. But like, yeah, I've definitely done that where
So
I
I'll-
find one. I'm like, oh, this is too short. And
Yeah.
I like scroll.
So I'll be like scrolling for 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm done. I want to get up. I'll be scrolling on my phone, waiting to find the perfect TikTok to watch.
yeah.
I also do the same thing in the
Yeah.
shower. So do you listen to music in the shower?
I used to. I don't a whole lot
Okay.
anymore.
So I still do, and I have a waterproof speaker that I bring in the shower with me.
Nice.
I try not to bring it in the shower with me sometimes and just put it outside. Because when it's in
Yeah.
the shower with me, I have an issue. Well, like I won't get out unless the right song is playing. And there has generally been
Sometimes
times
you got to jam.
there is because I have a playlist with like 1,500 songs on there, and I would just play that playlist. Sometimes I'll play like an artist's page or like a smaller one.
Yeah, sure.
But when I don't
Yeah.
know what I want to listen to, I'll just play the big fucking playlist. And there was,
Yeah.
I will happily admit, there has been times where I've been standing in the shower, just skipping through songs for like 20 minutes, trying to find the right one to get out to.
Mhm.
And it like,
Yep.
by the time I leave, I'm like, I am a shell of a man. What the fuck
like-
is wrong with me? I
I'm
have
at my
issues.
lowest point in life.
It's bad, dude. It's,
This is the worst thing I could have
and
done.
you know the worst fucking thing is that my speaker doesn't have a go back option. It's only skip song. So like
so
there'll
if
be
you accidentally skip one.
there'll be times where like I accidentally skip a song that I like, oh fuck, I actually would have liked to listen to that, and I have to keep fucking going. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world.
The speaker I have that I've used in the shower, you have to like it does the button spread isn't great. There's a play button, and I think it's like you gotta like double click it, but it's like a speaker, so it's not like a headphone where you're kind of just like pop up and it's like really
Yeah.
easy. It's like you grab it and you're like dirt, dirt.
Is it the
And you
is it
just,
the
like,
UE
kinda-
Wonder Boom?
No, it's JBL Pulse 3.
Okay.
It's the
My
light up one.
right. Yeah, my one. It's like it's like a no. It's not even a button. It's like a plastic rim that you just have to like press in twice to skip it and once to
Yeah.
play. So yeah, sometimes if you don't click it properly, it won't skip, and you have to press it again. It's like this is a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But what I try and do to be a good person is I'll like get like 5 songs, so it's like 10 to 15 minutes, and then leave the speaker outside of the shower, so I can't go through the whole fucking thing of like
Yeah.
skipping.
No, I find you gotta queue a couple songs that are the like, because you also don't want to be like you get through all of your things and you're like, fuck, I have 3 more songs and I'm just standing here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know, it's a
No,
it's
that's
a,
the
it's a
way to
problem.
go.
Thing is, I don't have
these are real problems.
these are real problems. I don't have the. It's only like when I'm alone in my house doing it. Like if I'm if I'm in a hotel or at someone else's house, I'll just have a quick shower in
You
and out in
just
5
shower
minutes.
like a normal person.
But it's in the
Yeah.
comfort of your own home. You're like, yeah, I can afford to waste water. This is fine. This is great.
There's not a water crisis anywhere.
Yeah.
No one's struggling.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's like this whole like analysis paralysis thing. Like it's the same with like trying to find a YouTube video or a movie to watch, trying to find a
wanna
game
find
to
the
play.
perfect one, and by the time you're done, you could have watched an entire video.
Mhm.
Yup.
Yeah, I do the same thing with
Struggle.
games as well. It's really fucking bad.
I've just been playing the same game over and over again lately.
Yeah, but I've been,
Enough to a point where I hung out with someone that I haven't hung out with like in a couple weeks. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm playing this game. He's like, I know, I see the Steam notification like once every 2 days at least that you're playing this one game. And I'm like, yeah,
nice. What are you playing?
Wingspan.
Yeah.
It's my bird board game. It's just really calming and relaxing. And I can come home after work and just like completely turn my brain off and play.
Yeah, that's why I play FIFA.
Yeah, that's relaxing.
EAFC 25.
Yeah, because they lost the rights because they're stupid.
Yeah. No, it came out like a week ago. I've been playing it every day since.
Nice.
I'm actually pretty good at this game. Still
Okay.
some bullshit as usual.
Sure.
I packed a 91 Rodri. That was cool.
Huh. Is his ACL torn?
Yes.
He starts running and immediately like buckles and falls over.
Mhm. How funny would that be if like a real life injury is carried over into the in game, so you just can't
That
use
would
players?
be really funny.
That'd be
It'd be
fucked.
stupid, but it'd be really funny if like you could get an injured player. There'd be no point, obviously, you never play it, but like
You pack an icon, they pass away, so the card's just not usable anymore.
there's just a coffin in the middle of the pitch and it never moves.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Bad video game ideas. There we go.
Bad video game ideas, yeah. Well, Dan, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Thinking about you in the shower.
Yep.
Got him. I made you blush a little bit, didn't I?
Well, you first said a good place to wrap it up, then I was trying to think of a condom joke. And then you said thinking of you,
Uh-huh.
and then I was like, where's this going?
In the shower.
Okay, bye.